When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
The Last Show with David Cooper, where we utilize non-linear reverse, inverse, backward thinking protocols. It sounds like this.
The age-old question, what to do when you can't stand your friend's significant other? And should you tell them? Should you tell them when they break up, especially if it seems like they might get back together? This one is a discussion that a lot of people have different opinions on, and we are joined by Laurel Toorn, a licensed therapist who runs Laurel Therapy Collective, to discuss just this. I love this question, Laurel. It's such a fun topic. Welcome to the show.
It is, and something that therapists often have to contend with when we're hearing things about clients' relationships, friendships, family relationships. When do we speak up and when do we zip it?
And I think, there are cases where there's like abuse or violence, and maybe we'll hit on those, but I want to talk about just run-of-the-mill, I can't stand this individual, but there's nothing objectively wrong with them.
Yeah.
I feel like people want a clean-cut answer here. You should always tell the friend, or you should never tell the friend. And it's not. That's not the right way to approach this.
No. If there's no abuse and it's not like there's no danger or blatant disrespect to your friend or family member, colleague, whoever it is, if you're going to say something, it should be about a behavior the person engages in. So I noticed he kept talking over you and that bugged me a little bit rather than, he's a jerk, I don't like him.
I notice every time we order pizza, she picks all the cheese off and puts it into a pile and then eats the cheese pile and then the tomato bread. I've noticed that. It's not that I can't stand her. Are you saying that's how I should approach this? Yes, that's a real example.
Well, you know what? Food is a mechanism for control for a lot of people. So that's another topic. But if it's just kind of like things that just get on your nerves but aren't an encroachment on another person, you should probably keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I actually agree. And I also think if they break up and it's clear they're not going to get back together, even then be careful and even then say, look, I have this feedback for you. But if you do get back together with this individual, I support you doing it and I will have a good attitude about this person. I really think you shouldn't interfere.
See, even that's tricky though. It's tricky because even if you say hey, if you get back together, I support you, they don't necessarily feel supported. So what your words say and how you're behaving doesn't align. So I would say most of the time, keep it to yourself unless there's a specific behavior or again, a safety issue or gross disrespect. It's tough because adults are allowed to make choices that not everyone agrees with. And your friendship shouldn't be contingent on them only making choices you agree with.
The problem is once you speak up, it's now this thing.
Yes.
Every time the person who you've spoken up to, who has this partner you can't stand, thinks of you, there's now this wedge and you can't unsay these things. And there's consequences to it. And, you're potentially interfering with that person's life. And so for these reasons, I'm kind of against it morally. I generally tell people it is black and white. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I know that there are others that don't agree with me.
Yeah. Again, if you can point out a specific behavior, because people are a lot more receptive to behavioral feedback than just character feedback. Anyone that's taken a debate class, we know you argue with someone's point and their argument, not their character.
I believe, what do they call that? An ad hominem attack, when you just attack someone's character but not their point.
Yeah, and especially, like, if you don't have any evidence to back it up, right? Like, if you just say, like, "Yeah, he's just such a jerk." It's like, "Well, how is he a jerk?" Right? It just it crumbles really fast. So, sticking to, like, 1, maybe 2 behaviors, you're like, "Yeah, I've noticed that, like, he always walks way ahead of the group and, like, is not interested in talking to the rest of us." Okay. Like, that's probably as far as you can take it while still maintaining the friendship.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Are there, so in my friend group, there's this woman who's friends with my girlfriend. I
Mhm.
can't stand her. She can't stand me. We treat each other with a
Mhm.
lot of respect.
Yeah.
And she's never said anything mean about me to Miranda. And whenever she comes up to
Yeah.
Miranda privately, I'm just like, look, we're not each other's cup of tea, but we
Yeah.
get along. She's your friend. She's a great friend. I'm not going to say anything bad about her. I actually, in some way, like, have started to like this woman, even though I
Mm.
can't stand her. It's just like our personalities aren't compatible.
Yeah.
But she
And
treats me with respect. I treat her with respect. When we're around
yeah.
our friends, we get along. And that's the best way you should play this thing.
Yes. And very common for that to be the case, for there to be one person in a friend group that you're just like, "Oh, why is this person here?" Right? And, just, like, the reason that the 2 of you just stay at a respectful distance is out of respect for the rest of the group.
Hmm.
Because if the 2 of you were to, like, open fire, it would completely disrupt the social ecosystem. And so, like, regardless of your feelings towards her, it's your respect for everyone else in the group that you're just like, "Yeah, I'm willing to just have this détente."
Hmm. I'm sure she would love to get into arguments with me and tell me why everything I say is annoying, because I would like to get into those arguments with her. But out of respect for Miranda, my girlfriend, and our mutual
Yeah.
friends, I
Yeah.
treat her with dignity and respect. I even have her number, like, hey, is the thing at your house tonight, or Miranda's going to
Yeah.
be late?
Right.
It's funny. Like, I've come to actually like her in a way, even though I can't stand her.
Yeah.
And I know she can't stand me.
Well, and that your willingness to politely engage from a distance with someone and she you, speaks to your character more than if you just, like, let it rip every time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
rude to your partner to, like, get into this. Is kind of the reverse of it when you
Mhm.
can't stand their friend. But as
Yeah.
the friend, it's rude to your friend
Yes.
to really, like, gang up on their partner, and then they've got to pick a side. And that act of
Exactly.
making them pick a side is like can create
Yeah,
this
it's
fracture,
horrible.
right?
Yeah, I've been in situations where someone had to choose between, someone was kind of given an ultimatum between, like, a friendship with me and a partnership, and it feels horrible because, like, it's not choosing between 2 comparable things.
I'm not saying there's never a time where you can't give an ultimatum. I'm not saying, like,
Yeah.
maybe there's drug use or alcoholism or abuse. Like, maybe
Yeah.
there's appropriate times for ultimatums, but if you just don't like someone, you
Yeah.
shouldn't force a friend group to make a
Yeah.
choice like that. By forcing that choice, you're kind of the jerk, even if the person
Yes.
you're forcing the choice about is a jerk.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. What I'll say about exceptions to this, like, you already started with it, like,
Sure.
if there is, like, a safety issue, um, you should say something to your friend. It might result in a rupture, but if and when that person is ready to leave the relationship, you're the first person they're gonna come to because they know you're safe and that you have their back in any given situation, whereas others, either they're not aware that there's a safety issue or they're kind of downplaying it, mentally justifying it, that will not feel safe when someone decides that they're ready to leave. So in that case, in some ways sacrificing the friendship short term for the possibility of your friend having an exit route, that can be a beautiful gift that you give them. And of course, you have to do it with love and respect and concern for their safety, because we know in violent situations, if someone leaves, recidivism goes up and violence increases. But it can be a really beautiful gift that you give someone.
Sort of offering that future lifeline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Laurel Vander Toorn can be found at Laurel Therapy Collective that she runs that serves California and Florida. Laurel, I appreciate you coming on the show. This is kind of a fun topic. I appreciate you navigating it with me.
Happy to be here.